Oh, that was dangerous, because I once heard on Capital Radio, this has got to be the greatest rock intro of all time, and they played Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I can just imagine them putting their head down.
I remember a friend of mine, when I was at school, he just bought a car, and he took me outside to show off the stereo system, Money for Nothing. Really? He just played that. I've never heard the song before. Just played that for its entire 4 or 5 minute duration.
It is a good song
for the sound system.
Yeah, it's a good song for showing off intros and sound systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You said you were driving along earlier. You saw someone.
Yeah, it was one of those zooped up sort of sporty saloons.
Nice.
You know, the big like a Mondale or something, big, and it was blaring out. And the bloke in it was sort of like, I could tell he was 24, but already going bald. Yeah. From like obviously his estate agency job, not too well. But he's made a bit of money, and the stereo system was ridiculous. I mean, so loud, and it was going through Covent Garden. He was playing Snow in Informer.
Do people remember Informer by Snow? It was a big tune in my
I don't know. It's great. Yeah, I always enjoy it.
Can I bring that in next week? Can we play Snow next week?
Well, you can play a tiny little bit of Snow. Yeah.
Informer. Do you remember Snow, Carl?
Yeah,
you loved it. Yeah, big tune.
Yeah, loved it. Oh, did you?
Big tune from the 90s.
Happy song, isn't it?
Rick, you were saying that you've turned over a new leaf.
Yeah.
Is that in all aspects of your life, or is that just in your broadcasting career? Because the reason I bring that up is because, do you want to describe what you were eating just now when we came in? Because you're a 40-year-old man. You've put on a little bit of weight, so presumably you're watching what you eat.
Well, no, but it sounded exotic. I went into a cafe and they didn't have a cheese sandwich.
Right.
And
can I describe what it looked like to me? Right, it looked to me like a big slab of cheese. You've just got them to just cut off a big block of cheese, like the size of a CD case. One of those double albums, right, of cheese, right? And just lightly melt that for me, so it drips over my hand and it gets really greasy in the bag. But just lay some strips of bacon on the top.
Yeah, but listen, you've embarrassed yourself.
Is that what it was?
No, it's a croque monsieur, so it's French.
It's a what?
A croque monsieur.
A croque monsieur?
Yeah, and so I thought,
I've never heard of a croque monsieur.
Let's see, you've embarrassed yourself.
Is that how it's pronounced, or is it croque monsieur? Oh! Hey? You didn't expect me to be bringing out the French. Hey? Tu aimes la musique pop? Oui, je t'aime la musique pop.
Le plume de ma tante.
Où est le syndicat d'initiative?
That means my aunt's pen.
So what was it then? It was a croque.
Yeah, and it was just too greasy. It was just too, and it was all wobbly. I like toast, I like it to be crisp.
Sure.
It's the thing with like, what? This is rubbish. Play Coldplay. Out of the yeah. Coldplay. That's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad, not bad.
That's a nice little track. Well, Steve, we've been away now for what, 12, 13, 14 weeks?
Is that really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been looking forward to coming back. It's great to be back.
Yep.
And,
yeah, we've had some laughs, some tears in the interim, I imagine.
Yeah.
We've had a few ups and downs. Obviously, been working on the TV show, The Office, BAFTA winning. Coming soon, BBC Two. But Rick, I just need to mention something quickly to you. When did I last see you? I saw you yesterday, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because we went up to Edinburgh yesterday. We were very nicely invited to go and talk at the Edinburgh International Television Festival. It was quite a big deal. We went up there and we were interviewed. And Ricky chose to go on the train because it takes like 4 hours. Is it 4.5 hours or something on the train? But it's quite leisurely. It's quite sort of gentlemanly thing to do.
Yeah.
I opted to go for the plane option and fly up there.
More modern.
Exactly, and they bankrolled that. They paid for it all, and that was all very nice. And as I recall, when I last saw you, we got a cab, didn't we? And you asked if you could get the cab to drop you off at the train station.
Yeah.
And then it took me on to the airport.
Yeah.
Did I? No, that was before. The last time I saw you was before I got to the airport and missed my flight, wasn't it? Because I had to drop you off in the centre of town. Yeah, no, that was just before I had to pay £165 to upgrade to another ticket.
How did you not tell me that in the last hour?
£165, Ricky. I had to pay because we dropped you off at the train station. So I mean, do you want to go halves on that, or what do you want? How do you want to deal with that? How do you want to sort that whole mess out?
Why were you late?
Why was I late? Because we dropped you off in the centre of Edinburgh, and do you know how hard it is to get out of Edinburgh in rush hour traffic?
But it was only 3 minutes away, so you'd have missed it anyway.
No, because if we'd gone the other direction, it would have been 20 minutes. It took me like an hour to get to the airport. And I got there, and the plane had already left, and the cabbie was just laughing. He was saying, we're never going to make it. He goes, you're a religious man, you better start praying. I thought he was being facetious. He was absolutely right. £165.
But hold on, why didn't he tell you that when he picked up at 4:15?
It makes you wonder. So obviously I'm a little bit annoyed. Because you know I'm not a man who likes to sort of spend unnecessarily.
But wait, this is not my fault, because you were there when we made that decision. I didn't impose this on you. We both decided that might be it. It's both our fault. I mean, it's no one's fault.
It's both our fault. That's fair? That's all I wanted to hear. It's both our fault, therefore it's both our financial obligation.
No.
£165? Just split that in half. Write a cheque, Rick. Write a cheque. It's fine. I trust you. Clearly irresponsible.
No, of course I'm not. If you share a cab and then one person's lucky enough to not be late and one person is unlucky enough, and that's what it is, bad luck, I don't think you share the obligation. It's a moral dilemma, this, isn't it?
But it's more than that, though, isn't it? Because let's be honest. Even if you had known that I was going to get there late, you'd have wanted me to hang around just so you weren't left around waiting for a train on the road.
No, because
you get bored sitting there. So you'd have wanted me to at least got in that cab.
I got there way too early. I actually got there I was there about 30 minutes
so you made it fine then, that was...
Well, exactly, so I mean, I sacrificed me hanging around for half an hour so you could get it at 4:15. And the other thing is this, you were going to get it at 4:15 anyway.
Yeah, but I would, if I'd gone the other direction and not dropped you off in the centre, I would have been there in time.
Would we?
Well,
is that true? Wow. Only God knows.
Well, and the cabbie. What I mentioned it to. So,
I'll tell you what will cheer you up. I'll tell you what's better than 80 quid. I'll tell you what's better than, shall I?
Go on.
Music.
What, are you paying the whole 165?
Listen, look, I've brought in a little track here, Bruce Springsteen off the Turn of Love album, and I know you're a Springsteen fan.
I was a Springsteen fan. We should just qualify this, because a lot of people who listen to XFM obviously a bit edgy about Springsteen. They just think he's this old, kind of ludicrous 80s rocker, the bandana, you know, the flying the flag, which he never really was.
No, that was Bon Jovi.
Exactly,
don't confuse them.
Bon Jovi. But seriously, no, do you know what I mean? He did write some great music in the 70s, and he just got a little bit kind of pompous in the 80s, but he still turned out some amazing tunes, one of which I imagine is this one, Rick.
This one's called Brilliant Disguise. Bit of Springsteen there, Brilliant Disguise on XFM 104.9. I think that's soothed you a little bit. That's
not really
taking a bit off. I just remembered something as well.
Rick, 80 quid.
You know what? We finished the talk about sort of 3, and we had a couple of hours to kill before we got about that half 2, wasn't it? We had a couple of hours before we got the taxi, and we were eating in this cafe, and Steve said, "How long's your train journey?" I said, 4.5 hours. He went, "So you was going to get us?" I getting about 10. He went, 6:30, me. And he's quite smug, and I went, "Yeah," I said, "It is quite a long time." I just started to sort of relax and over. He went, "Yeah," I said, "But," he said, "I think I'm come off better here, because usually you've organised all this stuff." He said, "But I think you've chosen wrong here." I said, "I think you're right."
Yeah. Don't you think those words were coming back to haunt me as I was handing over 165 notes? All I was thinking was, Ricky's going to be loving
in first class, drinking John Smith's and listening to Mercedes Walkman.
Yeah, but I handed over my initial card. She said 165 quid then. I went, fine. I handed over the card. It was a Switch card. She said, "We don't take Switch."
Don't they?
I was thinking, what am I going to do then? I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from.
What did you do in the end then?
Well, luckily I had another card.
Oh, right.
And she managed to accept that one. But I don't know what I'd have done. I don't genuinely.
You didn't tell me you had another card.
Yeah, I got 2 cards.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that is depressing.
I was so depressed because I just kept thinking about what I'd said to you. I've won this time, because normally I'm always like legging it for tubes, or I'm just, you know, where I get stuck in the rain, or something.
I just never seem to drive or something. Because when you get me, I said, "Well, it's up to you. It's up to you." You know what I mean? Every man for themselves.
But this time it was 4.5 hours, and I was just in that 40 minutes on the plane. There'd have been no problem.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm so livid. Do you know, I got off because I was not very well either. I'm a bit ill at the moment. I got off the plane, and I thought, well, I could get a cab from the airport all the way back home, but you know, I've already been stung for 165 quid. Got the tube. Took me forever.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It took me forever. I got it probably later than you did. Around the 11 o'clock mark.
You didn't really?
No, I wasn't quite as bad as that. But I was so depressed. I'm really depressed, Rick. So I was saying 50 quid is something
money,
right.
I mean, Steve does not like to waste money, and I mean by that I mean
I don't like to spend money.
No. We had to go out and get our shirt for a photo shoot. Quite an important photo shoot for, I think, the Times, right? Went out, buying a shirt, went out, planned it, went short. Came back, $14.99 from Henny's.
Henny's, $14.99.
He knew where he was aiming. He aimed straight for Henny's. He knew where he can get a bargain. This is a man.
But it seems to me that at that kind of price, you can throw them away. You don't even need to wash them, really. You can throw them away using, like, Kleenex.
Have you ever thrown one away?
No. No. Just scrape off the stains and keep on wearing it.
Remember that time when we went to the casino for my birthday, and I was like 100 quid down, and some people were 100 quid up and 100 quid down. He, after the 3 hours we were there, was down £20, genuinely depressed.
I was almost crying.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Well, it's because it's a mugs game gambling. It really is. Was that where we? Because I went there. It was. There was one time we went there. It was our agent's birthday.
Oh, that was another time we went there, right? And he was up. and he'd got a win. He was 30 quid up, and so I said, "It's your round then." And the round was more than 30 quid, and he couldn't believe it. And he sat down and he went, "I can't believe it." He said, "And I bought him a present, so I was already down."
Yeah. I turned out I was already down because I bought our agent a gift. I didn't see him buy it. And you know that thing where you're buying a round of drinks from people you don't even know? So it's like, what's the story there? Why am I suddenly bankrolling you drinks? It's like, I don't know you people. I'm not going to get any kind of... I'm not going to see you again to sort of reap the benefits at a later point.
Because he came in with his
most of you are married or engaged, so I'm not even going to pull from it. It was a waste of time. It was just pure generosity.
It was something like from Swingers, because he came into the cocktail bar holding 3 chips up worth £10 each and went, "Hello," like that.
Yeah, I was £30 up. That's a lot of money, Rick. Carl, you know that. 30 quid. You don't want to sniff at that.
Oh, what songs should we play? We've got lots of songs in. So
bit of Incubus.
Just to make me more depressed. I thought it was a bit slow.
I know, but I'm a fan.
I like slow songs, but
I really like. I've always been a fan, even from early days. I thought his first song was really great and much maligned. People didn't like it because they were expecting
the verve.
Yeah, urban hymns and all that. That's great. On XFM 104.9.
Who are you?
Ricky Gervais. Who are you?
Steve Merchant.
Who's that little round-headed fella?
Yes, Carl Pilkington.
Carl, I've had a lot of Carl today. He's a bit tired, aren't you?
Just a little bit.
What happened? You came back from Edinburgh today as well, didn't you, on the plane?
This morning.
Yeah.
Got an early flight.
Yeah.
It's just annoying me because there was like people on the plane fighting over where they wanted to sit.
Surely they've got designated seats.
Well, they have, but that wasn't good enough for them. They wanted to sit next to the friends and that. And it's like, well, you can't because you didn't check in together. So that's the way it is.
Yeah, done.
But the thing is, it's from Edinburgh, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand this sort of...
You can stand for that long, can't you?
Well, why do you have to sit next to the person anyway, to be honest? I mean, fair enough, if you're going on a long flight, someone to talk to, but for 40 minutes, it really doesn't matter.
I never want anyone to talk to. I don't want anyone sitting next to me to talk to me.
Why? What are they there for?
What? I don't mean people I go with. I mean if I'm travelling alone and I sit next to someone, I don't want to talk to me.
Yeah, but... I don't really know...
If I was travelling with you, I'd really not want you to talk to me.
Not if you're going to talk like this.
Yeah, this...
Oh, you sound like you're suicidal, mate. It was just a couple of people arguing. It's over, man.
Yeah.
The plane journey's finished. Why is it still stewing up?
He paid 160 quid and he's not whinging, he doesn't care.
165 quid, let's get it right. If we're going to bring it up, if we're going to mention it...
And it's like orthodox back to him. Like, he said to me, "Rick, it's only money, and money is just something you have in case you don't die tomorrow." He's got a great attitude towards money, Steve. It's like, easy come, easy go. So just take a leaf out of Steve the "I'm not spending that much" merchant, and you'll have a happier life.
Sorry, I just need to defend myself for a minute. There are certain instances in life where, you see, you're giving me an attitude like that I'm tight. It's not tight. No, shut up. Let me defend myself. It's not that I'm tight with money. It's that I want to get value for money at all times.
Yeah.
Because, you probably got a lot of cash given to you, maybe it's pocket money when you was a kid. Every penny I've ever had is been money I've earned.
Yeah.
So frankly, I'm going to spend it wisely. Like, for instance, you might say you're in a party, or so you're at a party, maybe out in a bar with someone's birthday, you get talking to a girl, right? Maybe you buy her some drinks, right? You're chatting to her, and then you're chatting away for 2 hours, and then at the end of the evening she says, "Oh, I've got to go and meet my boyfriend now." Right? She's wasted my money and my time there. Yeah. That's 2 hours wasted and money wasted, right? Now, she should have told me straight away that she had a boyfriend, and I wouldn't have bothered with her. I'd have moved on, I'd have let Tom...
What if she thought she was just having a chat with another human being?
Rick, where I'm being deliberately deceived so people can extract money from me or interesting conversation. Yeah. She knew what I was after. It was obvious, the drooling mouth, you know, the beady eyes. And yet she was leading me on.
And she was a prostitute. And think how he felt about that. I mean, what a slap in the face.
Let's not try and cheapen it with that kind of cheap sexual innuendo, right? She occasionally slept with me for money.
It wasn't for money, it was for meals.
Yeah. No, but the point was, do you know what I mean? It's just that sort of attitude generally in my life. It's like, don't waste my time, you know? Don't waste my time or my money. You're right? Life is... the clock is ticking as far as I'm concerned. And, you know... And so just, if you've got a boyfriend and I come up and I'm chatting you up, just let me know and I'll move on. I won't bother you. Yes, please. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel they should definitely introduce some kind of badge
system. You see, the problem is that women without boyfriends will be wearing those badges now, and you won't be able to You know what I mean? You won't be able to say, have you really got a boyfriend?
No, I just think there should be some kind of there should be an etiquette, there should be an understanding.
Yeah.
You know, because they know, they can see what I'm after. It's obvious.
Is it obvious,
Yes,
is it?
I make it very clear.
You're not a subtle man.
No, I just come over and pant.
Do you still try and attract their attention by throwing small rocks at them?
Yeah.
Has that ever worked?
Occasionally.
Is it really?
You know, the desperate ones or homeless ones.
Oh, the homeless ones. He once, right, he said to me, he came in to work and he said, I gave a homeless girl £1, right? Because I fancied her. He said, is that wrong? Is that really bad?
I don't think it is, you see. I don't think it is, because it seems to me if she was an attractive homeless girl, then she deserves some of my money.
I just imagine him slowing down. I imagine him like going past loads of tramps going, get out there, get a job. And she goes, hello.
But I have to say, I did for a moment just pause and think to myself whether I could kind of scoop her up in my arms, take her back to my place, and kind of turn her life around like My Fair Lady.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? And
yeah.
kind of teach her to speak properly and dress her up in smart clothes and take her out into sort of society.
I think that's where your first mistake was. You said, listen, love, I'm up for it if I can hose you down. That was where you went wrong. Smiths, Cemetery Gates. Great, wasn't it?
Always cracking.
Off Queen is Dead. Voted best album of all time, I think, in the NME poll. I don't think it is their best album.
Strangers Here We Come.
I agree.
By far the best.
I agree.
Yeah. Cracking.
Anyway, Carl, so people are arguing on the how did you enjoy Edinburgh, by the way, anyway? Because I saw you up there briefly with you and Nick Frost, your new mates, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. You know, he prefers them to us now.
I know, I could tell that from just talking to him.
It was the way he was sort of looking at them, everything. He was just smiling at Nick Frost. It's his new best chum. You love Nick Frost, don't
Would you have preferred it, right, if I went to Edinburgh and had to sit with some people that I really didn't like? Would you have been happier for me?
No, do you know? But
So I had a great time with Simon and Nick, and they're nice people.
But he kept going to oi, Nick, tell Ricky that story. And Nick and Simon, well, all it was, right? And their ghost stories. He loves them because they believe in ghosts.
Oh.
It's not just
they're
that.
great blokes with great sense of humour, just because they believe in ghosts. And you go and tell him that. He goes, how do you explain that? I was going, well, I wasn't there. What was that one you told me and it was completely wrong? About the...
It was, oh yeah, right, it's years ago.
Oh yeah.
Some
in olden days,
oh, sure.
when ghosts roamed the earth.
Once upon a time, you mean?
Yeah.
Some doctor or something who was into like the way bodies work. They got their head cut off.
And the doctor?
Yeah, he was doing a bit of an experiment.
And he cut his own head off?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was about, he said, when my head's in the basket, I'm going to blink my eyes.
Right. Okay, sorry, hang on, let him finish.
And,
so the doctor has chopped his own head off, and he's told everyone, I'm going to blink my eyes.
he's in the basket, and he goes like, right, I'm going to blink my eyes about, as many times as I can. So quick, count them. And they count, and he got to like 15 before he died.
Now this is how Carl told me that. Till Nick Frost explained that, Carl told he said, right, well, a bloke, right, he had his head cut off, and when his head was in the basket, he went, count how many times I can blink. And I went, well, that's rubbish. He went, no. And Nick went, well, no, he actually said, when my head's in the basket. And Carl went, all right. I said, Carl, do you know the subtle difference? Do you see the subtle difference?
I have to say, though, guys, I still lost me.
The story is that a bloke who'd been found doing,
You mean that Carl just explained it and that was a clear version? Because I still don't know what you're talking about, Carl.
Well, this bloke had his head cut off for experiments against God. He was a doctor in in olden times.
Yeah.
And when they cut his head off,
why did they cut his head off?
Because it was
he was executed.
Crimes against he was executed. Yeah, and he said to his assistant, when my head's in the basket, I'm going to blink, count how many times I blink and write it down as an experiment, right? Carl told it to me, like his head was cut off and he went in the basket, and when his head was in the basket, he looked up and said, count how many times I blink. Yeah, I love that. I love the difference in that story.
Yeah.
Both rubbish, but, one's possible and one isn't.
You believe anything that you're told, except when we tell you the truth.
Right, here's one.
Christ.
Ghosts and that we got talking about.
Sure.
And Nick said, right, he said, you'll like this one. He said, my auntie was having loads of problems.
Why are you whispering? It's not illegal to talk about ghosts on the radio.
No, but
it's hearing this.
So the auntie's in the house and that, and furniture's moving about all the time.
Oh God.
And they were like, no,
Steve, he told me this one. This is such rubbish, mate.
No, come on, let's listen.
I'm going to leave it to you. I'm going to sit back and enjoy it. I'm just going to watch your face, Steve.
Right.
Sorry, so I missed the beginning there, Carl. There's an auntie.
Basically, Nick's auntie.
Right.
in the house, things moving around all the time. And it was just annoying every time she tidied up. It was like,
It's just annoying.
making a mess.
It was one part annoying to two parts scary.
So stuff was moving around all the time, and they said, right, rather than
we need an housekeeper.
rather than having the house a mess, until we sort this out.
I've got the vicar coming round. Stop moving stuff around.
Oh, yeah, go on.
They said,
That shouldn't be in the pants drawer.
let's put all the furniture in one room, right? So just have one room.